Good morning, Ocoee region. I am so glad you are joining me for another segment of Hidden Gems of the Ocoee region. I am so excited today. We have a very, very special guest. But you know what I got to do first? I got to pay some bills. Yes, I do. And so I just want to remind everybody to go to Southern Charm Boutique. This dress I have on is from Southern Charm Boutique. And you need to stop by there. She's on Chambliss Avenue, right down the street here in the Chattanooga Wellness Center. And I'm telling you, she has some fabulous stuff for summer. And you know her jewelry is just to die for. But anyway, go by Southern Charm Boutique. So now, back to business. Oh my God, do I have I won't say she's a hidden gem, okay? She is a gem, but it's a gem that we don't know about in our region that we are going to learn about today. She's one of God's treasures. She is, let me see here, her resume. She is a Christian actress. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She is also a CEO of a major company, her own company. So she's an entrepreneur. She's married. I could go on and on and on, but I'm going to have her share her story with all of you today. So help me give this woman of God an awesome welcome, Doris Collier.
Thank you.
I am so glad to have you here.
Well, thank you. It's a joy to be here.
I tell you, when my dear friend, my good friend, my girlfriend, Melanie, told me about you, she kept talking about this woman, and she kept saying, she's a Christian actress, and she's on all these movies, and she kept sharing all this stuff, and I said, oh, I've got to get her on my show. I just felt the Holy Spirit. It was like,
Yes.
boom, we have got to have her on our show. So what I'm going to do right now is just have you, first of all, tell us about yourself.
My name is Doris, as you've already told them, and I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Okay.
For the last 30-something years, I lived in Alabama, but my children and grandchildren, and I call them my grand angels.
I love it.
Yes, they live here in Chattanooga. So we sold our home and bought a home in Chattanooga, and we just love it here. So I was raised in Florida, Orlando, Florida, and I'm married to a physician. He's retired, and so we do a lot of traveling together, and he goes with me when I do my business trips as well as my movies.
Okay.
So, but first and foremost, I am a born-again Christian. I became a Christian in 1972.
Okay.
And he and I talk a lot.
Amen.
Jesus is my very best friend. I tell people life's hard enough with him. How in the world do people live without him?
You said a mouthful
Yes.
right there. I don't know, because I tell you what, I'm so glad I found him.
Oh, yes. I'm so glad he found me, too.
And yes,
Yes.
that he was looking for me.
Yes.
You know, and we connected. And I tell you, it doesn't mean that life necessarily gets easier, but oh my God, when you know you're walking with him, it doesn't matter.
That's
the
right.
storm, the trial, the
That's right.
tribulation, it doesn't matter, because you know it's, and Melody, she's going to laugh when I say this because she's in the audience, y'all. It's all good.
That's right.
Because it's all God.
That's it. That's right. And people want to be on the mountaintops where everything's, I say, hunky-dory, no problems, everything is just going wonderful. But think about it. Nothing grows in the mountains.
No.
Things grow in the valley.
Yes.
So when we're in our valleys, when I call them our trials and tribulations, that's where God really grows us and draws us closer to Him. So,
I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Well, let's talk about all the Christian movies you've been in, okay? So I'm going to name them, and then you can fill in the blanks, okay? So well, it says you are an actress and producer. So
Yes.
she doesn't just act, y'all. She produces these movies as well. You've done The Borrowed Christmas,
Yes.
The Colors of Emily,
Yes.
The Act of Contrition,
Yes.
94 Feet,
Yes.
The Rains Maker, and Saving Faith.
That's right.
And you also was the co-writer for The Rains Maker.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about these movies.
Okay, the very first movie that I did was The Borrowed Christmas, and it's just a precious Christmas story, sort of like a Hallmark story.
Yes.
It's a Rossetti Productions film. Chip Rossetti is the producer and owner of Rossetti Productions, and he is all about making family movies where there's always some kind of situation that's not as pleasant, but how God just comes through every time. And, you know, we've talked about how we'll invite people over and over again to go to church, and they may or may not go, but they will go with you to a movie. And that sometimes is the way to get people in so they can hear about God and all His greatness.
Yes.
So The Borrowed Christmas was my very first movie, and again, it was a Chip Rossetti production. And then we've done 94 Feet, and that was based on a true story, how these men got in a coal mine. And
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I've seen that.
Great story. And at the very end, they weren't going to make it out. And a man went to a brother and said to him, you know, you've got to know Jesus. We're not going to make it out. He says, hey, I've done too much bad in my life. And he said, God's grace is greater than any sin you've done. So he prayed to receive Christ in that coal mine right before he passed away. And the story is all about it's just never too late.
Yes.
You know, to turn to God no matter what you've done in your past or what you're going to do in the future. He's just a God of grace.
Yes.
So that was 94 Feet. Another one was that Chip did was Saving Faith.
Yes.
It's about a girl named Faith and all her struggles and how God came through in the end again. And it was filmed in beautiful Tennessee.
Oh.
Amy Grant and Vince Gill
Yes.
had some parts in that movie also. You'll see them. So those are, and then let's see, the fourth one that I was in, before I finish that one, Chip just finished a TV series. It'll be on Pureflix, and it films, it actually shows October 1st of this year. And it's like 10 episodes, and I love it because each episode is totally different, and it's about things that you've done in your past, and you think, what was I thinking? Why did I do that? And you have a chance to go back at this motel and fall asleep, and you can relive that situation, and you can either continue down that same path or you can make a different decision.
Wow.
And you can change that course. Because, you know, you tell people you can choose your sin, but you can't choose your consequences.
Wow.
So
that is so good right there. You can choose your sin,
That's right.
but you cannot choose your consequences.
That's right.
And you know what I love about that movie is that it's making us realize to take ownership that, you know, sometimes we go, oh God this, and but we made a decision.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, and sometimes it's not oh God, it's oh Tony.
Yes.
You know, and
That's
we
right.
have to recognize that. And it's not always the devil. Let me say that.
That's right.
Okay?
That's
we made the decision. We chose to sin.
That's right. And because we're a free moral agent.
Yes. Yes.
So that one airs on Pureflix October the 1st of this year. And then the other film was by Firecatcher. Michael Arnold did The Colors of Emily.
Yes.
And that was like a murder mystery. It's on Netflix and also. So those are basically the ones that I've done so far. And I'm excited about doing more in the future.
Well, it says now, Rainmaker, it says that you are the co-writer, and that is still that's been on the back burner for a while.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that for
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Oh, my God. So here's my question for you. You said something. I want to get this out because I think there's somebody out there that needs to hear this quote, your favorite quote. The most beautiful people we have known are those who have are those who have known defeat, known suffering, known struggles, known loss, and have found their way out of the depths.
Yes.
These persons have an appreciation, a sensitivity, and an understanding of life that fills them with compassion, gentleness, and a deep, loving concern. Beautiful people don't just happen.
That's true. You know, in life, we get the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yes.
And it's how we respond to those good, bad, and ugly situations that make us the person we are. So instead of just, you can go to bed and just lay there and just cry yourself to sleep and stay there for days and not even get up. Or you can say, you know what? With God's help, I'm going to continue on. And God, what are you trying to teach me? Help me to see the end of this dark road, because there's always a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, it is.
And you look back on your life when you were at your deepest, darkest valleys, and you think, I'll never get out of this. It'll never be the same. And guess what? It won't be the same. It'll be even better. So you don't want it to be the same. But God uses all those things. And I remember a pastor went to get to this couple's house, and he married them, and they were like in their 20s, and he gave them a beautiful vase. And the pastor said, now this is something I want you to always have, because it's just, I handpicked it just for you. Well, one day she had it on her coffee table, and she was vacuuming, and when she did, it broke into 1,000 pieces.
Wow.
Well, she just cried, and her husband said, well, honey, you didn't mean to. She said, yes, but he led me to the Lord, and he married you and I. He did our ceremony, and of all the wedding presents, I can't believe I broke this. So she took her little broom, and she put all the broken pieces in a shoebox and put him in her closet. Well, the pastor and his wife came by to see them when they'd been married like 3 months, and said, we want to just stop by and see how this young married couple's doing. And they said, oh, come on in. And of course, through the conversation, he said, well, where's that vase that we gave you? Well, her little head dropped, and she said, I knew you would ask me. She said, it was my favorite gift because it was from you, and I was vacuuming, and it broke into 1,000 pieces. He said, well, what did you do with it? She said, well, I couldn't throw it away because it was from you. So it's in my closet. He said, well, could you go get it for me? And she said, yeah. So as she was walking to her bedroom to get the box, she thought, I wonder why he's asking me to give him some broken pieces of a vase. So he opened it up, and he said, whoo, my goodness, that is a lot. Okay, so he said, do you mind if I have it? And she said, no. So when he left, she said to her husband, I wonder why he wanted the vase that was all in those pieces. Well, on their first anniversary, there was a knock at the door. And there he was with his wife, a sweet, sweet elderly couple that he was the pastor of that church. And he said, could I come in? And, of course, the wife was holding a beautiful present wrapped in wedding paper. And she said, you didn't have to bring us another present. He said, well, I want you and your husband to come in here, and I want you to open it together. So her husband came in, and there it was, that vase. They spent all year putting that vase back together. And he said, now I want to tell you something. It took a lot of time to put this back together, but I want you to put it this time up on a mantle, because all your life you're going to feel like you've been broken into 1,000 pieces. But guess what? God always puts you back together. But this time, this vase is more beautiful and more valuable now than it was the day I gave it to you, because now it's the mosaic design. It's more powerful and more beautiful. So she put it up on her mantle, and she said through the years, when her hard times come, she always looks up there and thinks, I'm in one of my broken pieces, but God's putting me back together.
That is so powerful. And I just want to say this. Ocoee region, you heard that woman. You heard that story. Oh, my God. I don't think I need to say anymore, that blessed you, that blessed me. But I want you to stay with us because we're going to come right back because I want you to get to know more of Doris Collier. And so we're going to take a break right now and we'll be right back.